How's it going, guys? I thought I'd shoot a little video. I'm going to process the rest of that box I got at auction for $45. So this stuff I'm going through and see what other kind of surprises are inside. Some of the stuff has price tags on it, and which makes me to believe that this probably came from a antique store or a booth in an antique shop, and this is some of their inventory. But it's kind of interesting to see, the kind of stuff that was in here. Up here, have a tie bar. It's kind of funny. It's marked $3, but if you flip it over here, it says 14K gold, and it's actually gold filled. So I guess they're kind of accurate, but to have it marked at 14 karat gold is really misleading. But it still is marked gold filled. The tie bar and the chain is marked gold filled. And I tend to save all my gold filled because it does have value. I think the going rate on gold filled is around $1 a gram. Same thing with sterling. So what I do is I basically I hoard all of my gold filled and little bits of sterling, and someday I may scrap it. But for now, I just hold on to it. But so I come across stuff like this all the time when I buy flats like this of gold filled mixed in, and a lot of people just think it's not really worth anything, and just get rid of it in lots. But like I said, I do save it, and you'd be surprised how much this actually weighs. So I have my scale here. Like I said, gold filled and sterling is around $1 a gram in scrap value. Now, there's a difference between scrap price and what you'd actually get for it. I looked online. Looks like you can probably get around 65% of the value. So for every dollar, you'd get 65 cents. But just this little tie bar weighs 7.8 grams. So that's around, almost $7.80, around $8 for this. So I guess you'd probably expect to get $5 in scrap price for that, around roughly. Like I said, also depends on the gold price. So that was in there. Have a interesting little ring here. Looks like a camel. I think it's probably brass. It's not marked anywhere. So that was in the box. Have a ring, and it's actually marked sterling. So that was in the lot. Showed you guys before the U.S. military buttons. Had a Illinois chauffeur license badge from 1943. That was in the lot. I've always listed these on eBay. I called it a grandma junk lot. So these are all the buttons. There's 4 ladies' watches, the pocket watch. I included the 2 rings in there. So I've done well with these type of junk lots on eBay. So I listed that group, and we'll see what it sells for. Have a American Motors key fob chain. That looks to be probably from the 70s, I'm guessing. This is another kind of interesting piece. Dry goods tag. So obviously this is from the general store back probably from the early 1900s, maybe 1800s. That's a unique piece. That's just the other stuff that's kind of left over. Another thing they had mislabeled is these are marked with, says 14K post, and these aren't gold whatsoever. So again, mislabeled. This was also in there, this watch case. It kind of looked like it might be 14 or a gold. I did get my loop out, and it does have wear. So this is a probably gold filled, and go in my stash. So this is one of my bags. Kind of show you, I just, hold on to it all. So all this stuff is gold filled or sterling bits. So I do save all this stuff, and I buy junk lots like this, probably 50 to 60 of these boxes per year. And, the gold filled does add up. So I have 2 more bags like this the other 2 bags are actually filled. So this is the next bag I'm starting on. And like I said, every little bit adds up. So just this little bit of sterling and gold filled. Around 137 grams. So, $137 scrap price, and just kind of bits of gold filled and sterling parts. Let's see, what else do we have here? Got this going. It was in the lot. This watch, I think it's a Caltron. I can't read it through the lens here, but this is running, keeping good time. The Benrus, or was the Bulova. The crown is loose, but it does run if you can wind it. And I like the etching on the case. So another thing to look for in watches is LED, the digital LED watches. There is a collector following for those. So when I initially showed you the video, the first one, you saw this in the video. I didn't really expect this to work. Normally they don't, but I did pop off the back. It had batteries that were really corroded, and I spent probably an hour working on it. I cleaned it up. I'm not going to take the back off because I did actually get this to work. But if you clean it, and I have another one here, kind of give you some tips. I initially put batteries in this one. This one is not working. I'm going to mess around with it a little bit more, see if I can get it to working. But if you're able to clean these up a little bit, and then also kind of mess with the contacts after time of using these, the metal parts in here get bent. So if you would bend them back to get better contacts, sometimes the buttons will work. So this is just a generic LED in a really bad shape. But even the generic ones, if you can get them to work, they can bring $20 to $30 range just for the generics. And then you want to look for name brands of these LED watches. So like, Texas Instruments, Pulsar, Hamilton. A lot of the major watch brands did for a couple years make a red LED type watch. And some of these can bring $500 or $600 based on the condition and if they work. And a lot of times at thrift stores, estate sales, they see these old digital watches like this, and you can get them for $5 and under, as little as 50 cents. So like I said, I did mess around with this, and I did get it to work. So these are basically just a time and a date. So if we do this with one hand here, probably go in the dark here, probably show up a little bit better. So there is the time, and if you do it twice, that's the date. So a nice little score, tinkering around with this for an hour or so, cleaning it. And I think this watch is probably worth around $50 as it is. So I paid $45 for the entire lot. So I will sell this one. I don't really, I have a couple LEDs that are gold filled, and this is just kind of not something I would keep. So this will be going on eBay for sale. So these are the other couple watches, the Elgin, and I was not able to get the Waltham to work or the Caravel. And the Vulcane watch is working perfectly, but it's kind of interesting. So I bought the watch on Thursday, and when I woke up Friday morning, the second hand fell off of it. So here's the watch. The second hand fell off. It was laying on the dial. I took the case back off, and I took the spacer out, and the second hand fell out. So I do have the second hand in a baggie, and when I get around, I'll put it back on, but I just didn't have time to mess around with it too much so far. But the watch is running perfectly. So, well, that's about it. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.